can I just say that recording 6 podcasts in a row is a bit of a daunting task.
It's not 6. It's 3. Get it right.
Still a lot of additional podcasts. We suffer for you, our fans.
Yeah, so we are recording early and we're recording out of order.
So confusing.
Yes, so I am going away on a business trip. We are also going away to Disney on vacation, and we want to make sure that we still put the podcast out on time. So we are doing this early and out of order because we did The Nightmare Before Christmas, which will be next week's movie.
After this movie, which is The Grinch.
Right. So it's confusing and we will probably make comparisons, but hopefully you've seen both movies and the comparisons will still make sense.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine people not seeing one of the Grinch movies.
Right.
So this is the newest one in theater. This is actually the first movie we did in theater because we listened to you and we heard your feedback.
Right. And you said that you wanted us to do a few more current in-theaters movies. We actually haven't gone to a movie theater in, I can't even think of how long. No, we went to something after The Foreigner. The Foreigner was our first date movie. That's a sore spot, but we have gone to other movies.
The Quiet Place with your family.
Okay, so we've been to other movies, but it's been a while. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm Shay.
I'm Tyler.
And this is Cinematically Correct, and we're doing the Grinch movie.
The new one.
Right.
Trailers. Surprisingly hard to write in a movie theater, so
I don't know why you said trailers and then surprisingly hard to write in a movie, but...
Because we were writing about the trailers, but it's really hard to write in a dark movie theater.
Right, so this is our first movie that we were able to see trailers for, obviously, because it's our first in-theater movie. But we thought it would be fun to talk about a few of the things we noticed in the trailers.
So the first one is Ugly Town, which is basically a CGI Fugler doll movie musical.
So, okay, so for those of you who don't know what Fugglers are, they are
ugly
stuffed
dolls.
Animals that have, like, realistic-looking teeth, and they're pretty creepy-looking.
Right.
I have one. I've wanted one for a while, and Tyler's freaked out by it. It sits on our couch. It's...
Not freaked out by it. I just don't understand for the life of me the appeal of having an ugly doll.
But...
Having said that, I am now going to get all of them in the mail.
And also having said that, he is now going to be forced to watch this movie because it's called, like, Ugly Town or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's a weird kind of animated movie about accepting yourself for who you are, which is a good message, but...
Right. And it had decent people in it as the voices. Mostly musicians, it seemed. But, anyways.
So, it's going to be a musical movie, and they cast accordingly. So,
right.
It'll be interesting. Next, we saw How Do You Train Your Dragon, the 15th one? Second one?
Seriously, it's been so many. But Gerard Butler's voice, I will listen to it as many times as they would like to send it to me because he's just everything.
Wow.
What?
All right.
He checks all the right boxes.
Okay. So it actually didn't look that bad for a sequel, if I'm going to be honest.
No, I mean, I've liked most of them. So
for the most part, they've done a fairly good job with the sequels in maintaining a not terrible... just track record. Like, most sequels are awful.
Right, I agree.
Next one was Pets 2, which does look like one of those awful sequels.
Yeah, but I never saw The Secret Life of Pets 1, which is surprising considering how much I'm obsessed with my pet, but I have not, so I couldn't really make an opinion on that one.
I didn't see it either, but it didn't look like a movie I wanted to see in the first place, so...
Okay, if we keep going this long on these movies, we are gonna run into like an hour long, and I don't think anyone wants to listen to that.
We're done with the trailers, and it's only 4 minutes in.
We're not done.
What
so, Oculus VR was one of the things that popped up in the trailer section. So, it was a kind of an advertisement thing.
It was definitely an ad. It was Jonah Hill talking to some person I don't recognize.
Was that Jonah Hill?
The guy with the beard, yeah.
Oh. I did not pick up on that. But anyway, it was really cool because you could see them watching like a movie in a movie theater on the VR, and they were like obviously separate, like long distance. And I just think that's so cool because there's so many people, right, especially like listeners that interact with us, that I would love to be able to watch a movie with, even though
only if I could have motion cap to slap Matt Lewinsky.
Oh my goodness. So
Yep.
There's always going to be a fight on this. And then the other, I guess, trailer that actually popped up 2 times was The Chronicles of Christmas from Netflix, which I actually do want to see. It's probably because I've been inundated with ads from it, more than likely. But...
Well, I mean, I do like Kurt Russell in general.
I'm sorry. Let's pause.
Not in Big Trouble in Little China, but...
Tyler just said he likes Kurt Russell. Let that sink in, guys. Let it sink in.
But I was actually interested in seeing that as well. So we will see.
Right. Anyway, so that's pretty much the trailers.
Wrapped up in 5 minutes. We're good.
Good.
So Tyler's brief synopsis, I guess?
Sure. Go to Tyler's brief synopsis. They're terrible, so let's see how they go.
Hey. It's the Grinch movie that we all know.
Except for the plot is different.
It's very similar to the originals, but it does vary in places. So the Grinch is a green Who, I guess, because he lives next to Whoville, but he's not exactly a Who. It's confusing. It's always been weird. He hates Christmas. Who's love Christmas. He decides to take all the stuff and ruin Christmas, and he does that, and they show him that the true meaning of Christmas, he gets a larger heart, and Christmas is saved at the end, I guess. Okay,
so he took out what's changed, but we'll get there. So, it starts off with seeing, like Whoville, right? I'm trying to remember if they show the Grinch or Whoville first. I don't remember.
It's Whoville. They do the skiing birds down into Whoville, right, which were cool things. I
literally didn't realize they were birds at first. I thought they were little snowmen.
Oh. So. Well, you weren't wearing glasses, to be fair. Then they go to Whoville, which looked like the gingerbread town.
True.
Like all the buildings looked like gingerbread houses, which is an interesting touch.
They had an ice skating rink, which reminded me that we've never been ice skating, even though we say we're going to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Year after year.
I know.
Yep. So maybe we'll do like
a challenge or a request.
Yeah, we'll do something. But so anyways, it was really cute, and then they do show you the Grinch, and he's in a cave just like in the older versions.
Before we go to that, in Whoville, the thing that I didn't know I needed until I saw it, a snowball making machine.
Is that the kid who's...
No. So there was a machine going by. It was like a Zamboni.
Oh.
So it picked up snow and built a pyramid of snowballs.
So basically you just want to be able to...
Pelt people with snowballs, obviously. Without having to make the snowball, just having them pre-made and throw. It's great. It's the best part of snowballs without any of the work.
None of this surprises me coming from you, but okay. So anyway, we're going to move into the Grinch, or do you have more you want to say about Whoville?
Well, we didn't talk about the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack. Do we want to talk about the soundtrack?
We have to...
My mama taught me if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, so...
Well, it was a train wreck, abomination. It was orders of magnitude over anything I've ever heard, like the worst thing I've ever heard.
My note from it, which I don't remember writing, and it also is missing a lot of letters because I was writing in the dark, but it says, I don't like the new version of the Grinch. It sounds like dead cats. Oh.
It is so bad. And it's inexcusable considering the source material that they had to work with. The original song is a timeless classic.
Right.
This one is just awful.
It is. And I mean, I have to say that I'm assuming that with the rap and hip hop, just how popular it is right now, especially with the younger generation, that has to be why they did what they did. Also
inexcusable. You're coming up with a defense that it does not deserve.
No, but
defending.
The internet supports the soundtrack. They don't support the movie, but they do support the soundtrack from what I read.
Well, then the internet is wrong.
Speaking of music, since we're on the topic of it, at the beginning of the movie, when you first are introduced to the Grinch, he has the alarm clock. And he's being woken up by the song Happy by Pharrell Williams, who is also the narrator.
Okay.
I thought that was apropos because he's never happy and blah, blah, blah. But for some reason, it irked me. Like, it didn't feel Grinch-like. Like, it didn't feel like that is what would be playing in Whoville on the radio. And I don't know. It just irked me.
I did love the scene where he throws the stuff at the clock to get it to stop singing Christmas songs.
Right.
And then it still plays them to spite him, which was delightful.
Right. Well, I mean...
The Grinch remake song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, they play like 2 lines of the song.
The original.
And thank God, because I couldn't have taken any more of it.
I'm with you there.
Tyler, the creator. This is the first time I will say blame Tyler. For those of you who don't know, he's the one that is behind that train wreck of a song.
Yes, and now Blame Tyler is going to try to take on a new meaning, but it's not going to catch on. This isn't fetch. We're not making it a thing.
But his name is Tyler, the creator, and it's Blame Tyler for that.
No, it'll always be you. You are the Tyler. Anyway, so we meet the Grinch.
We meet the Grinch. I did like the fact that he put on fuzzy pants to avoid being naked.
Yeah, which was not needed.
Well, I mean, it is and it's not. I mean, it's to the point of everything has to be PC, where like you can't have bottomless characters, even if they're animated with no.
Oh, come on, Mickey Mouse?
Well, he was created
Donald
before
Duck?
that time. Like it's a changed
Yes,
dynamic,
I
and
guess.
it was just weird. But it was.
I did like some of the products they had in his house. Like Mold Spice. Very good descriptor of
Yes.
Old Spice, if I do say so
Wow.
myself.
No, it's
I'm
not.
just that's what I wrote down. I'm just saying.
You hate Old
I
Spice.
really do, and I just thought it was pretty
Which I don't understand.
apropos.
Every guy basically uses Old. It's like the
No, every grandfather uses Old Spice.
no. It's the most popular antiperspirant by far.
I'm sorry that I have hurt your favorite deodorant of choice.
I liked because he has to go into town
Right,
after
now,
Meet the Grinch.
let's talk about why he has to go into town.
Emotional eating.
Well, yes, but what makes him actually decide to finally go?
Max, the dog.
Right. So, I love that, first of all. I mean, the dog mom and me, all the feels.
Yeah, you would do anything for Max.
Right, I would give
Coincidentally, her dog and our dog is named Max.
Maxie, but we do call her Max.
Also, the Grinch dog is named Max, and I just like the whole because that's so real to me. Anyone can relate to doing something
for your dog.
For your dog or your pet, rather than for yourself and doing something against your own nature.
Right. One thing I wanted to ask you is a lot of people are saying that in the older versions, especially the Jim Carrey version, he was terrible to his dog. Animal cruelty and whatever.
Yeah.
And they said in this version, he was not horrible to his dog. He treated him really nicely. Do you agree with that?
He definitely treated him better in this one. I remember watching the original and the Jim Carrey version, and you just feel bad for Max. The whole movie.
I agree with that to a point, but I mean, there is dog slavery where he rings a bell and requires him to come up this thing and give him food, and there is the whole, making him pull a sleigh. So
I mean, at the same time, that's fair, but he's not like kicking him or treating him badly or.
No, but I wouldn't say he's super nice. And he, kicks him out of doing the music with him because he played the drums and he plays it poorly.
But
he's not super nice.
It wasn't so much over the top, just outright abuse.
No, it was toned down a lot. But I would say that he wasn't peachy keen to his dog.
No, he was not nice to Max, but he was not outright horrible.
Right. That I can agree with.
So I was struck by the religious Christmas carols in this movie.
See, I read that online, and honestly, I didn't pick that up when I watched the movie at all.
So I was thinking that you would be all over that and be like, "Oh my god!"
I know. That's why I was surprised when I was reading it online, going, "Why didn't this sit with me at all?"
But I don't remember anything to that effect in the original or the Jim Carrey version at all.
No, because I feel like in the other versions, not that they took away the religious aspect of the holiday, but they didn't highlight it the way that it was kind of highlighted in this version.
Well, it hit me right in the face in that, and then they were following him and harassing him, and it was almost to the point where, I get why he's pissed.
Well, okay, so the carolers, I did write down somewhere, okay, carolers really are the worst, and if they stalked me, I'd hate them too. Because facts. I mean...
They were straight up harassing him at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a big fan of carolers. The whole idea of, going and knocking on random people's doors and then just annoying them with songs that they didn't ask for, it's a bit much.
Annoying, but their intentions are good. You just don't like people.
Yeah, but I mean, if I didn't ask for it, that just, I don't know. But anyway, but we did jump one part that I really do need to mention.
Okay.
The narrator, I'm sorry. I've read a lot of great things. So the narrator is Pharrell Williams.
I mean, I didn't hate the narrator, honestly. It didn't have the same feel as the original. It didn't. The original had a deeper voice.
Yes.
And
all I wrote down was, who's the narrator? His voice sucks.
Wow. All right. So you hate Pharrell Williams.
So, no, actually, I really do like Pharrell Williams. As a person, he's an amazing guy. However, what I did find out, which you probably did as well, is they originally intended the narrator to be Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Voice of Chucky.
Yes.
And Wormtongue.
That would have been amazing. Totally down for that. Why did they change their mind? Illuminations, Why? Explain this to me. That would have been perfection. Down for that.
I saw that too. I did see it. I didn't know if you were going to recognize his name.
Well, I recognize... So, you know what? I'll be honest. Who I thought Brad Dourif was when I first read the name was the douche from that animated movie Sausage Party. That's who I thought it was. And I don't know who... I don't actually even know what his name is. But that's the name that popped up. But I Googled it and it was like, oh, the voice of Chucky? Yes, please.
Well, as soon as I saw it, I recognized the name. I didn't have to click on it. I know exactly who it was. I was just like, oh, that's the voice of Chucky, Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings, all of that. Totally down.
Well, yeah, so you knew it because of Lord of the Rings. Let's not.
Well, I absolutely did. Oh, I did also recognize it from doing the research for Chucky, or Child's Play.
I have to say, my notes in this movie are much more colorful than in other movies. So I was really having fun with this.
I did not like him ruining Santa.
Ruining Santa.
For Cindy Lou Who, when she's tracing the letter to Santa.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, oh, you've never seen him, blah, 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 blah. That's kind of shit.
So that, to me, actually seemed to be a religious thing. That, to me, hit me in the face as, is that like a play on never seeing God? And then, like, in the end, like, you realize that religion is more about the community aspect and getting together with people. Like, that is what resonated with me.
So, children, stop listening right away, right now.
What?
So, I took it, brief pause, I took it as the universally agreed upon rule is to not ruin Christmas for children.
No, okay. So I actually didn't think the point of it was whether or not Santa is real. Like, that was not what I felt was the question. I felt like it was more whether or not that matters at all, because the spirit of Christmas is about family and togetherness, just like whether or not God is real or not is not really the point of the religion. It's more about believing in something greater than yourself and believing in the power of family.
Christmas is Jesus' birthday.
But that doesn't, it's not like you can't enjoy Christmas if you don't believe that. And I don't think that people should be excluded whether or not they believe that or not. I felt like that was more the moral, but I don't know. That's just what I felt when I heard that.
I just assumed that it was related to him ruining Christmas and going counter to everyone else in society, because we all have this secret pact to not do that to children.
I mean, that could be.
Universally.
That could be. I mean, it didn't ruin it for her.
No.
She took a pause and then she was like, nah, I'm going to just kidnap the man. It's fine.
Kidnap. That's how I'm going to avoid getting on the naughty list forever. Yeah. Kidnap Santa.
Yeah, basically.
I like the dye that he got, the green hair dye.
Oh, yeah.
I did like that.
One question. When he was in the grocery store, why doesn't he like pickles? They're green.
I don't know. And they're awful tasting.
No, but they're green. He should by definition like them.
He doesn't have to eat everything green.
I mean, he likes everything green, so I mean, it was confusing to me.
He does not like everything green.
Well, they didn't explain why he didn't like the pickles.
I don't know. I assumed he would like pickles because they're disgusting.
I assumed he'd like pickles because they're green, but it's fine. It's fine. I also thought it was cool that they said he was 53 years old.
Well, he was... Yeah, I did like that. I found out why they said 53.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead. You can say it. So you sound smart.
So it was because the original came out 33 years ago, or 53 years ago.
Yes, you are right.
I did like that. I did like the interesting single mom take on Cindy Lou Who. We got a little bit of that aspect of it.
Right. So Cindy Lou Who's mom was a single mom, and basically
rock star, by the way.
Right.
Like
she really
throwing the
multitasked.
Toast and
yeah, they really played up how amazing she was, like Superwoman.
Yeah.
So basically, the way they changed the story a little bit is that Grinch's motive was not, he didn't hate people because he got bullied for not being able to shave like he did in the other version. However... Or
just being a horrible person in the original.
Right. But this time, he hated people because he was an orphan, he didn't have a family, and he never had anybody to be included.
Well, he saw all the other people enjoying Christmas with their family, and obviously that hurts. That's soul-crushing. It was almost like he had trauma. Like he was a traumatized child, and...
Right.
Like that, it just makes you feel for him. Like,
right. So Cindy Lou Who, her kind of story was her mom was a single mom, and what she wanted for Christmas was for her mom to get some help. So they kind of paralleled her trying to capture Santa Claus to be able to get her mom some help with the Grinch trying to emulate Santa Claus, by stealing Christmas, or to steal Christmas. So they kind of like showed like him on the chalkboard and her on the easel with the exact same words, and like they kind of paralleled it, which basically foreshadowed them
They were
eventually
coming
meeting.
across directions.
Right. So they were going to eventually meet, which they did.
Yeah. Can I just say that reindeer was not necessary?
The fat reindeer?
Although he was awesome.
He was cute, and I feel like he was comedic relief, but no, he wasn't necessary. I think it was also supposed to be, my assumption, is that because they had him come back in the end, and he was a family, that it showed that the Grinch really did know how to make friends and like people. It's just, he had closed himself off to it for so long.
Right.
So it was kind of like the first friend he really made.
As soon as you try, you start succeeding in that, and you're building your own friends and family.
Right. And I think that was supposed to kind of be like the turning point for him. Like, he made a friend. So now the rest of it makes more sense. I thought that's why that was there.
Now, was that kid, that was one of her friends smoking a candy cane cigarette?
Right? That's what I thought too. That was adorable, though. I really liked that. Now,
was it a toothpick or a cigarette, though? It
was a candy cane.
It was a candy cane, but what was it supposed to be?
Oh, I was thinking it was supposed to be a cigarette.
That's what I thought too. But then I thought about it. I was like, it's probably one of the toothpicks, like the tough guy.
Oh, okay. That could be too. I assumed it was a cigarette. So then he hatches the plan to steal Christmas, and she hatches the plan to steal Santa, I guess.
Kidnap Santa.
Well, I was just trying to
hold him against his will and be on the naughty list forever.
Right. I mean, there's not really a lot of detail that went into the two. I mean, it is what it is. But I will say, the Grinch doing it, he had all of these gadgets and stuff, and it reminded me so much of Inspector Gadget. Like, I couldn't not think of that.
Those things were awesome. Some of those gadgets were amazing. Like the drone for Max to do the recon. You actually want to make Max fly. Our actual dog.
I do.
She wants to make the dog fly.
Yeah, if anyone has seen the Jenna Marbles video where she makes her dog fly with balloons, we will do that someday. So stay tuned. One day it will happen.
I like that. I wrote down could use less rap in my notes.
Yeah,
it's
facts.
really good.
Facts. I could use less rap. So we are really cutting time. So let's try to wrap up exactly what happened and all of that so we can get into some of the extras.
So he stole Christmas. He meets Cindy Lou Who in her house as the last house because she kidnaps him. I almost thought he was going to have the turn of character there. Like, she was pulling no punches. How do you fight that?
I felt like a tear was going to come down.
God,
she was adorable.
She was killing him.
Yeah, she was.
Then he manages to get out of the house, steal all of Christmas, and go all the way up to the top of the hill. And it was weird because the mom was the one that told her that Christmas is inside.
Right.
Well, in the original by Dr. Seuss, it's her breaking out in song at the end.
Right. But, I mean, I thought it was supposed to be another reference to the fact that mom is really like super mom, and she embodies everything that...
See, I disagree, because I thought it lost a little bit, because it lost a little bit of the childhood innocence and wonder.
Okay, I can see that.
Because that's to me is the kid realizes what Christmas is all about, even though they're getting presents and all kids love presents.
Yeah, but remember though, when she said to Santa, "I don't want presents. I just want someone to help my mom."
Well, exactly. So it's the childhood innocence. I figured that would carry over to her breaking out in song to guide people into seeing the true nature of Christmas.
I guess I just thought it was a nice homage to single moms because you don't see that much in films.
I mean, that's fair. I will give you fair on that one.
But anyway, so we really need to wrap up because we're at 24 minutes. And so it's going to be a long one, guys. I'm sorry. But
so he goes back and apologizes and has Christmas dinner with them. And that's basically the movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, Cindy Lou comes and invites him to dinner. He goes and he basically admits that he really never hated Christmas. He just hated being alone.
Right.
Which, I mean,
I think
everybody can relate to that.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of stuff out there about this movie, which was very surprising to me. But one of the things that I did want to ask you is, did you feel... Well, actually, I know that you did. So, you had said at one point in the movie that you thought the Grinch was going to end up with Cindy Lou Who's mom.
I still maintain that, even though it didn't happen in the movie. Spoilers. Because of the ending, where they're doing the credits and he's making all these inventions to make her life easier. I just feel like that would have happened as the natural progression, which is just they ran out of time.
Okay, so on the token of all the inventions, so if you guys didn't stay through the credits of the movie, you might not have seen all of the inventions he made for the mom. But I felt like that was a resolution to Cindy Lou Who's wish of wanting to make her mom's life easier.
I just felt that at some point that would have carried over to him, like, working into that family and her realizing that he's a good guy. And
I agree. I just wanted to know what your thought was because I know that you mentioned that.
This movie got a lot of hate, apparently.
A lot of hate. Which
I don't understand.
One of the things I saw was when the first trailer dropped, I think it was about May of 2018, I'm not exactly sure, but a hashtag was created called Not My Grinch. And people were just really upset that, one, they didn't feel the movie needed to be remade. It was already perfect the way it was. And they just really didn't like the way the trailer was portrayed.
I will give them hashtag Not My Soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm in for that. Hashtag Not My Soundtrack. Yes. I got, as of right now, it has 58% on Rotten Tomatoes and 59% audience score.
See, I don't think that's fair, honestly.
This is amazing. Tyler is actually elevating a movie.
Defending a movie.
I am. We are in the Twilight Zone.
This is one of the ones where you're set up to fail. And it's not the movie's fault that the original is a timeless classic. This is like remaking...
anything, really. Any of the classics.
It's like remaking It's a Wonderful Life. Regardless of how good the movie is or is not, the original is so good on its own, like, you just can't compete. Like, you can't remake Citizen Kane, you can't remake It's a Wonderful Life, there are certain movies that are just untouchable.
I agree. But, I mean, I actually liked this take. Now, did I like Jim Carrey's version better? Yes. But for me, the Jim Carrey version...
funnier.
Right. One, I thought it was more adult humor. So there was a lot more for me to relate to. It came out when I was in middle school. So it was something that obviously I was going to go see. And it was on TV so much that I think it was really hard for me to not have nostalgia attached to it.
Well, there was definitely a bit of a TV coverage blitz when that one came out. And then afterwards...
Right. Now, obviously, the original is still reigning supreme to all of these. But if I had to choose between Jim Carrey and Benedict Cumberbatch, I would have to choose Jim Carrey. But...
I think I may have liked the actual story of this one more than the Jim Carrey one.
Whoa.
But I do love Jim Carrey's portrayal of the Grinch. He nailed it. I'm sorry, he just did.
Okay, so I know that we're getting low on time, but there's one thing I have to ask you because I found this on Reddit and I thought it was really cool. So, do you think that Brinklebaum was Santa? The reasoning they gave is because he does his hair and beard, he always wears red, he had a sleigh, and the cookies weren't eaten before the Grinch came to the houses, and that would make sense considering he didn't have his sleigh.
That's a conspiracy.
When I read that, I'm like, you know what? I could totally see that. It makes absolute sense.
We haven't actually introduced Brinklebaum.
Right, so he was played by Keenan, if I remember correctly. Which, I mean,
obviously... Who doesn't love Keenan? I mean, come on.
For us, all that was our...
National comedic treasure.
Right. So, I mean, obviously he's very much of our time, so we're going to love him. He was hilarious in this movie. Adorable. I liked the fact that he was, like, over the top all the time and that he thought that the Grinch was his best friend even when the Grinch wouldn't admit it back. It was like the friend you never knew you wanted type situation.
Exactly.
So I loved him. But it does really make sense that he could be Santa. It really does.
It really does.
Like, I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
He did even mention that he dyes his hair.
Yes, he did.
In the movie. So, I hadn't even thought of that.
I hadn't either.
I will
give it to Reddit.
I will give Reddit props on that one.
Yes. So, I just wanted to bring that up because that seemed crazy. But I do want to give you time to talk about the things you found.
I did like one of the references to another movie.
Okay. You're going to say Speed, aren't you?
I am.
Okay, go for it.
When she's running after the bus... And she says, Sam, that's straight out of Speed, the movie.
So I'm going to have to make a confession. I don't know that I've seen it. I feel like, so it's one of those movies where I always thought I've seen, but then when I read that reference, I'm like, yeah, none of this is clicking. So.
Adding it to the list.
Yeah, I don't know. I might watch it and then be like, oh yeah, I totally have. It just was not registering. I
did like... I was interesting to find out that there were not a whole lot of adult references at all in this movie. It was a straight child movie,
which was not bad. I'm not knocking it for that.
Well, so that's the thing. It's a lot of kid movies. It's one of two things. It's either a straight kid movie, or they put in jokes that the kids don't understand, and that's for the adults that have to go see the kid movie.
Right.
But I didn't see that at all. I didn't pick up on a whole lot of things. There was the drugged cake reference. Right. There wasn't a whole lot of things that would point to be geared toward the adult audience.
True.
What else do you have? Do you have audience asks?
I do, but I wanted to talk about one thing. So Martha May was a character. Martha May who was a character in the Grinch Jim Carrey version.
Yes.
And she was his love interest. Apparently they grew like up together, and she had a beard, and so they kind of had crushes on each other as kids and all of that. Do you think that it's like a missed opportunity to not have her in this version, or do you think it was a good thing?
I didn't miss her, honestly. I mean, she worked well in that story, but she would have been out of place in this story.
Okay.
I mean,
I was just curious because it's interesting to actually see a movie where a love interest isn't introduced, because that's so commonplace nowadays that I just kind of expected.
And I did expect. I sat in the movie. I was like, oh, they're gonna wind up together at the end. And
right.
I still argue that it will happen at some point. It just didn't happen on screen.
Right. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that real quick. I have a few other things, but we can probably save some for Tyler's Trivia Tuesday.
I need at least one, because I did not save one for the last movie.
Okay, well, I've got a good one here. So anyway, the Streamer's Guide is actually new to our audience acts section, and they said, personally, I've always felt Grinch's behavior seemed like attention-seeking instead of just aggressive or spiteful, and this remake felt like it really highlighted that fact for me. That may be a good foundation for a debate. So do you agree with that?
Well, so I feel like he'd been hurt by Christmas for so long that he just couldn't take it anymore in this movie. And
But do you think he was being mean to people to seek attention, or do you think he was aggressive or spiteful?
I think he was just trying to make his own life easier. I'm going to go a third way. So I just think he was just like, I can't take this, I can't deal anymore.
Okay.
And it just has to go.
I agree with that. I mean, so for me, I didn't feel like it was attention-seeking, because if that was the case, he did get Brinklebaum's attention. He thought they were besties, and he actively avoided that and didn't want that. Right. So I feel like that wouldn't really work out for me, but do I think that he was aggressive or spiteful? Also no, in this version. He just seemed hurt. And I think we've all been hurt to the point where we just don't deal anymore.
Right. I think this is the most sympathetic of the Grinches.
I'll agree with that. Okay, so we always do two. So one more. Movie Geek and Proud asked us, is there anyone else you'd rather voice the Grinch than Cumberpatch? And I keep saying patch, but I mean batch, but it just doesn't come out. So, sorry.
I mean, it was an interesting experience because his accent, I could hear the English accent part of it being held back.
Oh, so we didn't actually speak about that. But so he did have an American accent in this, if you guys haven't heard it, instead of a British accent, because obviously he's British. I personally wish he had kept his British accent, because I felt like that would have made him seem more other.
Right.
I mean, that would have made sense to me, and I don't know, I feel like it would have flowed better. I mean, I don't think he had a bad American accent at all.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Anytime I hear his voice, I automatically hear what are the things I've seen him in, like Sherlock.
Right.
I mean, just where he has that British accent.
Right, but would anybody else be better?
I'm sure there are other people out there that would be great for the Grinch. I mean, Jim Carrey killed it.
Yes, he did. He absolutely killed it. I thought of Jeff Goldblum when I read that question. Interesting.
I mean, he does have that kind of sly, snide humor.
Yes, he does.
Part of it. I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought. I didn't actually really think of it, but.
Oh, so you stumped Blame Tyler. That's impressive.
Hey, it's not Blame Tyler. It's not. No.
Well, maybe this will be an extended audience ask question at some point on our Saturdays. So anyway, I think that gets us to the ratings, or do you have anything you would like to?
I have one last thing.
Okay.
I found, which is tied to our next movie, which is actually a movie we've already recorded, confusingly.
Okay, so he's talking about Nightmare Before Christmas, which will be next week's movie.
Danny Elfman is in involved in both movies. He's a musical producer of some kind. Also, there is something out there called Halloween is Grinch Night.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
That's apparently an animated short that came out a long, long time ago, where it's really trippy.
Okay, interesting. I think I want to see it, but okay.
There's a song where they sing "The Grinch is Gonna Get You."
Okay.
It was really kind of weird. That's really all I got.
I know that we're way over time, and I'm sorry, guys, but sometimes we just really like movies. I guess I don't know. But do you know why the Grinch is green?
Christmas.
What? Do you really just say Christmas?
Well, so green goes with red and white, where he's wearing the Santa costume.
You're so cute. You tried really hard. Okay, so the original, the actual book, he's black and white with hints of pink. So he didn't actually become green until the Jones version, which is the original animated version. The
original animated movie.
Right, and the rumor is that he decided to make the character green after he rented a car painted an ugly shade of green, and he thought that would be a perfect fit. So I thought it was cool because I never knew that. I never even really considered why he was green before, and then I just figured I'd look it up because he was so different from the Who's that I just kind of wanted to know like what inspired the green. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I mean, he did wear the red and white tie, which apparently was a throwback to Cat in the Hat.
Oh, cool. No, I didn't know that.
I thought it was just Christmas colors. I thought green, red, and white. Yep, Christmas. That makes sense.
That makes sense. But okay, so ratings?
I'll give this a 7.5.
7.5? How low? Wow. I was going to give it an 8.5.
7.75.
So the animation was amazing. It was really good.
The CGI was spectacular. They killed that part of it.
Right. And I did enjoy the story. But the soundtrack, I'm sorry. Oh, God, it just knocks too much. Because it took me out of the element, and I really just... I hated it.
To puncture my eardrums.
Yeah, I mean, that really... If it was not that soundtrack, I would have probably given it like a 9.5 for sure.
If they had used the original soundtrack...
Oh, yeah.
This is an instant cult classic.
Yes, but that soundtrack, I'm sorry, it just killed it for me. So anyway, I think that about wraps it up, right?
Yep.
Okay.
What movie are we doing next week?
So we're doing Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which we've already done.
Yes, so confusing. But there will not be Audience Ask next week just because we did it so early. We just weren't able to get that. But we'll be back on track for the following week, so that'll be good. If you guys want to interact with us, even while we're away, we do have a Facebook group at Cinematically Correct's Listener Group on Facebook. We have a Twitter at CinematicallyC. We have Instagram at CinematicallyC. We've got everything you can think of.
We're out there. We just haven't been very good at promoting ourselves.
Right.
We're tying it to the listeners.
We're terrible, I will admit. So we will be on the Facebook group every Tuesday for Tyler's Trivia Tuesday and every Saturday for Shout Out Saturday. And then I'm always on Twitter if you want to talk to me. So I think
she really has an addiction to Twitter.
Yes. So I think that about sums it up. So I want to thank Jake at Athens Music for our intro and outro music. And I am looking forward to next week, even though we've already recorded it.